Hey there, this is episode 11 of my Bayonetta series. This is chapter 10, Paradiso, A Sea of Stars. We are starting off by fighting 3 joys once again. And if there is one thing I've noticed by watching all of these recordings one after another, it's that I overuse torture attacks a whole lot. I use them way more than I would like to. So if I ever play the game, I will try to stop using torture attacks as much as I can. But I don't think I will use them that much after this, if I remember correctly. At least for this fight. Right. And this chapter is, I believe, the longest chapter in the game. And it is 20 minutes long, which is pretty insane. And I mean, that's not the chapter's length, that's the fight's length. If you combine all the fights together, like I have done here, there are 20 minutes worth of fights, which is a lot. As I've said, the more fights and the longer the chapter is, the more difficult it will be, because the more you will have to redo every time you fail. And the more stakes there will be for failing. So you'll be more nervous towards the end if it's a longer chapter, compared to a shorter one. If it's a 5-minute chapter and you fail, it's not that big of a deal, because you can just redo it pretty quickly. But here, if you mess up in the final fight, you will probably have a pretty bad time. We are fighting a gracious and a glorious. And of course it's very difficult, but when it's just the two of them, at least I can handle it. It's not over the top difficult. Even just adding one enemy on a fight with these two is enough to make it a whole lot more difficult. Like in the last chapter, when there was a fight with 2 gracious and gloriouses and a fearless as well. That was not fun. Anyway, I haven't used the torture attack yet. Okay, yet. Yeah, I just used one. The single most effective way to defeat angels in these fights is to just spam the punch kick punch combo over and over again. I don't know which weapon is the most effective. I think the sword is the best for this one. If you use dodge offset, like I am using right now, it will be even more effective, because you can do the combo much faster. So I just spam punch kick punch over and over again to get the wicked weave as fast as possible. There's not much strategy to these fights at all. They can still be difficult, because they can be long or unforgiving, but as far as depth or strategy comes, it's not that special. You spam one combo for the entire fight, because you can't do anything else. Also, you can use the Tetsusanku move, which I'm using right now, when you have enough magic, which just spams wicked weaves, if you have enough magic to use them. And here are 2 joys, and I'm defeating them the same as before. Punch, kick, punch, over and over. That's why I'm dodging so much. Every time I attack, I dodge instantly, so that I cancel the animation and move on quicker to the next attack. Right now I'm just spam dodging. And that was it for this one. I think my favorite weapon is the whip, just because of that move. Also the Durgas on the feet are pretty sweet as well, because that explosion move. I just kill like 5 of them in one attack. And here is a refight against Fortitudo, where he is a whole lot easier than before. And here's another refight against another boss fight, Temperantia. And both of these boss fights takes like 5 seconds. As I said, you just use the whip, spin them around, and you can win any fight with the weaker enemies within a couple of seconds. 5 seconds. And this is another fight that should burn in hell. Because Kinship is the worst enemy in the game. Pretty much by far. Because it's just a ship standing still in the air and you attack the box on top of them. So this fight shouldn't be difficult, but it is because of their bullshit attack patterns and because of how they move around, and you have to try to stay on top of them while they attack, all 3 at once, with their rocket launchers and grabbers and everything. And I think I have died in this fight probably like 50 times. I'm not sure if other people find this as difficult as I did. I just hate this fight, seriously. I prefer the normal fights like these. They are difficult, but they are at least fair. use angel arms. These battles don't have that much depth either, because you just use the angel arms. And as I said earlier, they can still of course be difficult, but you don't really have to think that much. You just have to concentrate on the dodging and timing the attacks with angel arms, finding the windows where you can use them for the longest period possible. But you should probably just focus on using the staff and the bow and arrow, because they are like 10 times more powerful than the sword. And also you can use the angel arms from the enemies. You can successfully hinder the Braves from merging together if you're skilled enough, which I wasn't. So they merged into a giant Brave, which is not that good because he's much more powerful than the smaller ones combined, I think. I think it's easier to deal with multiple small Braves than one huge one. But that might just be me. If I can just gain some distance and shoot them with a bow and arrow, then I am pretty much good to go, because of how powerful it is. Another gracious and glorious. There have been like 5 fights against this in just this chapter alone. And there have also been a ton of joy fights in the latest 2 chapters. They are both the best enemies in the game and the hardest. You can say what you want about them, but you have to agree that they are very fair. Despite how difficult they have always been one of the most fair enemies in the game. If you do manage to learn them, they are pretty fun. I think this is the final fight of the game, where we are fighting 3 beloveds who are shimmery in a weird way, and now 2 inspired. I think I took a capture by accident. I don't think that was intended. I am of course playing on the Nintendo Switch, that's why I'm able to record captures like that. The Beloveds are way easier than the Braves, because they are like 5 times slower. You can really take your time and just wail on them until they attack, then dodge and keep on attacking. You can defeat both Inspireds within seconds because of how easy they are. The strategy is always the same, just shoot them for a couple of seconds until they fall down, then find them lying in the water and attack them for 1 second until they die. Rinse and repeat for all of them. And as you can see, this took an hour because of some stupid Alfheims. That took way longer than they should. Anyway, now we have boss fight against Lucitia. Then we have a couple of normal chapters, then 2 boss fights, and then that will be it. I will have completed the game. So thank you for watching this one, and I will see you in the next episode, which will be the cardinal virtue of justice. Bye.